Good morning, everybody. Brian Newbert here from GoldandBlack.com. Live in his car. It's a Chevy Equinox rental car. I'm sitting in a parking lot in the great city of Birmingham, Alabama. About to do some work and then drive over to Tuscaloosa, which is about an hour from here, for Purdue's meeting with Alabama tonight. We'll probably hit the old Full Moon Barbecue or Dreamland, one or the other, before the game. But just wanted to check in with another one of these silly GoldandBlack.com postcard podcasts, video dispatches, spam, whatever you might call it. We will choose the Purdue Federal Credit Union for our most favored sponsor for this particular video. I have been a Purdue Federal Credit Union user, customer, client my entire adult life. My money's still there. That's, I guess, how I judge banks. But anytime I've had an issue, left a card at a bar or something like that, it's always been easily resolved. They have those cool machines that count the change for you, which I experience a childlike glee anytime I'm around. So, to business here, we're using these little videos to just talk about a quick little Purdue basketball topic. Purdue gets Trey Kaufman-Renn back tonight. That's a big deal. I think it's a bigger deal than people gave it credit for when Purdue accrued very few style points in its opening two games of the season, both with a slow start against Evansville and a game that was, at least on the scoreboard, close against Oakland. It's always good to have All-Americans on your team, and it's even better to have All-Americans on the floor. And Trey Kaufman-Renn is an All-American. He is Purdue's leading scorer. He will be their leading scorer again, almost certainly. He will give Alabama a lot of stuff to worry about defensively this season. He gave them 26 last year. Different deal. He won't be matched up against Grant Nelson this year. He will be playing forward and not center. I can't claim to be an expert on Alabama's personnel, but I'm guessing they're not going to run somebody out there who's going to be a pushover. But this kind of completes Purdue's ball screen offense again, brings that short roll back into play for Purdue's offense. I think you're going to see this season Trey Kaufman-Renn have a lot of opportunities to pass out of that, whether that's to kick out to a three on the wing, for a three on the wing. You know, the positional numbers really get confusing sometimes. Anyway, I think the dump down to Oscar Clough or Daniel Jacobson, the old Braden Smith hockey assist, that's going to cut in ever so slightly to his assist total as he chases that record, will be there. I think finishing around the rim today is going to be really important. I'm guessing, not that it's never important. So I think you might be surprised by the number of 5-6 assist games Trey Kaufman-Renn has this season. I stepped out on a ledge with a silly, downright irresponsible, reckless prediction in the offseason or prior to the season that said that both Trey Kaufman-Renn and Braden Smith would have triple doubles this season. I am not one to walk back predictions because I'm willing to stick my neck out there sometimes, but if I were a little more cowardly with my predictions, I think that's one I'd consider maybe dialing back a little bit. I do think you will see Trey Kaufman-Renn flirt with them a couple times this season. I think he will get more rebounds because of Oscar Clough and Daniel Jacobson's blast radius around the basket. Blast radius being a more appropriate term for Oscar Clough than Daniel Jacobson. Jacobson's reach is his thing. I do think you'll see Trey Kaufman-Renn get more putbacks, get more defensive rebounds, but also more assists, in addition to averaging 17, 18, 19, 20 points a game with a couple of 30 pieces mixed in there on occasion. I think the immediate impact you feel with Trey Kaufman-Renn on the floor isn't just the offensive layer you need, but it's two things. One, your aggregate physicality. People look at the rebounding issue, and yes, it's an issue. Purdue's got to get better, but it's not just an around the basket thing. I think Purdue has to get more physical all around the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody has to block people out. And Trey Kaufman-Renn's a big part of your aggregate physicality. He'll draw some fouls, which are always positive. And then the other part of it is just the distinction in style of play when Purdue goes to the bench and brings in Jack Benner or Liam Murphy at the 4. Is that going to be a glass of cold water thrown in the face of opponents when you go from playing this ultimate size, ultimate physicality lineup built to get the ball inside, built to run a certain style of pick and roll, and then all of a sudden you're playing basically a fourth guard at the 4? How much of a bump can Purdue get out of that at times? I don't know. We will find out. We don't know because there's no tape on Purdue doing that outside of the exhibition games. And I think Jack Benner is more empowered now, having played those 2 big-minute games in the 2 games that counted than he would have been before. So he's probably better positioned to impact games coming in now because of what he did during Trey Kaufman-Renn's absence. So Alabama does know what Jack Benner can do now, so they will probably defend him accordingly. So that's kind of what I got here. Thank you once again to the Purdue Federal Credit Union for your support. If you have a big garbage bag full of cash in your bedroom, under your bed, or whatever, consider putting that in a bank. And if you do put it in a bank, I would highly recommend the Purdue Federal Credit Union. So thank you, everybody.